Yeah, we're pretty out of shape, but hey, we do give our bodies some good nutrients, all right?
Yeah, we eat the vegan food and then smoke weed and watch SpongeBob. That's pretty much how it goes.
I have Pollyanna here. You guys want to real quickly introduce yourselves and what you do in the band, and then we are going to get to the hard-hitting questions of the day. This will be the most in-depth interview you guys have ever had. We're going to find out like why you picked green and not blue here.
Love that.
It's because you picked blue hair. That's
right.
That's why.
It's on my Instagram.
Yeah. So I'm Jill. I play guitar and I sing.
How's it going? I'm Dan. I do the percussion.
And well, Dan also battles TikTokers late at night for coins, right? With that backdrop you have going on.
Oh, you know it. Yes.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, leaking the good stuff here so early.
I'm Brandon and I play bass. And we also have another guitarist who is also probably at work right now. His name is Jack.
I'm honored that I could potentially get you fired from your job because you're doing an interview on the clock. So that is commitment to the band right there. So the new album, the new single that you guys released in January called Judas, total banger. Love it.
Thank you.
Who is Judas?
Who is Judas? Brandon, you should answer that question.
He's I don't know. I guess that song. Well, for those who don't know, it's a Lady Gaga cover, and it's a song I guess about infidelity and not being able to trust the person you're with.
So I like it better than the Lady Gaga version. I do. I think it's great. And if you do not know who Pollyanna is, that would be my personal opinion, great handshake introduction to what you guys do. Because I think it encompasses a lot of what you would hear from the full length album that you guys released back in June, correct? June. Yes.
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 Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the first album came out in 2017 between you and I. How has the band grown since then?
Ooh.
And that's available on Spotify. It's a good listen too. You can start from the beginning and just work your way through the discography.
Yeah, that's an old one. That song I wrote when I was 15. So it's like, and I'm 23 now. Mm-hmm. And Slime was written during like 19, 20, 21. So it's just like it's been, even though we released things so much later, like we released that song in 2017, and then our EP I think we had for like a year or two before we released it, and same with Sugarcoat, because that all kind of came in bits and pieces. That's probably the biggest way that we have grown, for sure, in a sense of like our writing style and the way that we all write together. You know what I mean? Because the way that we went about writing for everything before Slime was completely different. I mean, it got different each release, but it was just so we just went about it so differently. And I think that it's a lot more like a family now with the way that we write for, like, especially with the way we wrote for Slime and the way that we're currently writing now,
What is the process? How do you guys create a song? How did we come up with Slut? Like, what was the process?
Every song is different, I think. I think we write songs. I don't think we have like one method. We were actually talking about this in the van the other day. Like, we don't have one. We're still finding our sound, so we don't have one exact way of doing things that like is going to work every time. Like, we still are in the phase of like wanting to try new ways to write music, but Slut specifically, that one is actually probably the most different writing process than every other song, because I usually write first and then I have the concept, but I had the concept first before I wrote it. Like, I remember feeling inspired, like, I think like in early, like 2019 or 2020 or something like that. So like, and I just had like, I just want to be a slut, blah, blah. And I would just like sing that in my car, and I was like that. And I kind of came up with this concept of like this idea of what a song would be like that is like sex positive and like kind of is this anthem of like taking back the word slut in like a positive direction, and also just, you know, so many different societal standards and everything. So I knew what I wanted the song to be about, but I couldn't really figure out how to like word it correctly. And that song took the longest because the chorus was written first, but we had nothing else. I think like over quarantine and like even after, like we had like I had so many different versions of like a verse. We all like we jammed it in so many different ways. We've done so many different things, and we were at a lull for a while, and then finally, like we kind of just were like we kind of figured out the template or how we wanted the instrumental to go, and eventually I figured out the words like way later, like probably a year and a half later that I first had that concept. So that song it came together in bits and pieces, you know, unlike a lot of the other songs.
That is a Slut, especially. It's early on in the album, an incredibly raw, lyrically song, and it's great. And for those who don't know, you could get almost a couple of genres of music in one song, and I appreciate that because it doesn't get boring. And then, you know, you might have some punk stuff in some of your songs, and then we're going to have some hardcore influences. And then we have more of a slower tempo as the album went on. And I just appreciate that because it doesn't get boring. It doesn't get monotonous. Who comes up with, who's like the band director, the creative director of the music? Because the drums are great, by the way. The drums are great on the album.
Thank you very much. I do believe that we all have a very important say in the creative direction of each and every song. Obviously, did you lose me there for a second? All right. No. Obviously, some ideas are more led by like when Jill comes up with like certain melodies and hooks. It's like we all kind of work like, okay, how can we scape this song? Now that we have an idea, Jill is the one to come up with melodies, generally riffs and stuff. I mean, Brendan and Jack also do a wonderful job at bringing stuff to the table. But once we have a concept in mind, then we all kind of shape it, that practice, you know, where do we want to go? What's the feel? And then we'll like spend a good amount of time kind of scaping the song from there. Where does it have that depth? You know, how can we bring our own unique influences to shape the songs in those certain ways? You know what I mean? Which I also appreciate, you know, that compliment specifically, because, you know, that's it's good stuff. We appreciate you recognizing that kind of stuff about our music.
When I discovered you guys, it was a Spotify playlist actually in the fall. It was probably right after the album came out. And I was like, just, you know, going through my day playing music. And I was like, it really stood out to me because it didn't sound like everything. It was very much like, and not in a bad way, like all over the road musically. So that caught my interest because a lot of music, as we all know, if depending on the genre, it all starts to sound the same if you hear a couple of bands on a Spotify algorithm playlist or whatever. And that kind of got me to start stalking y'all on Instagram and becoming a stan for y'all. And then as I dived into it, like even doing this interview, like I didn't really have to do a whole lot of prep because I've already deep dived your discography. I have my favorite songs. And, you know, off the Slime album, what I wrote down here, because I had to go and look at what I hearted: Slut, Smile, Mars, and Okay. And I do want to say, I appreciate that you don't make very difficult song titles. like these artsy fartsy song titles I don't know how to pronounce, and I sound like an idiot when I'm trying to pronounce them. But you know, Slut is a great song.
I understand. I also hate complicated song titles.
Why be difficult? All right. Like, you know, you got people like me who got short attention spans. Okay is probably my favorite song on Slime.
That's cool.
That is that's my favorite song. That is constantly on repeat. And that's one of those as well really that keeps.
I don't know if we often hear that from like an interviewer, especially. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's no, it's not the top song on Spotify for me. Like it's I don't know. It was one of those songs that the minute I heard it, it really stood out to me, and it's just been on repeat for a while. And then, like I said, Smile and Mars are also like top tracks of mine. So what do you guys have? We know we have a tour coming up, a mini tour with Dollars, right? That's coming up.
Dollar signs.
Dollar signs.
Dollar sign.
Yes.
Sorry. And then the brick and mortar tour in May. What else do you guys have coming up in 2023?
We can't say much. We are doing a lot of writing though. No, we're really not.
I know. I'm joking. I'm not trying to get you in trouble with your record label, you know.
No, like
by we can't say much is because well, there's still some stuff up in the air, you know, some stuff we're really looking for the immediate stuff, and specifically we got a lot of songs, you know, so there's some stuff coming up that we can't really say much about.
Before we started recording, I praised them because they have a great manager to work with, and he's very cool to work with. And then I just thought,
yes,
he might actually, if I get you guys to break a street date, we might have a different opinion when he calls me and cusses me out tomorrow if you guys broke a street date or broke some news. So we'll keep it at that. So you guys are on I Surrender Records.
I wish we had news.
I'm
telling you, that's not going to happen. If it was, I would give you a hint.
Okay. Well,
that won't happen.
You know what? We'll bring you back when you guys have the news to break. We'll break it here first, and then
exactly.
Dan can take it to his TikTok channel. So you guys are on I Surrender Records. How did that relationship come about? Because I mean, I used to geek out to Midtown back in the day. Like that got me through. That band got me through so much heartache back in the early 2000s.
That's cool. That's so cool. Yeah, we shopped for labels before in 2019, and I'll say it. See, I'll say some shit on here. No label wanted us. Like we reached out to labels like years ago, like in 2019, and like we just really got nothing because we really didn't really have much. But and then I think about a year and a half later, we kind of relooked at some labels, and we had a few options, and Rob Hitt from I Surrender was like, well, let's go get vegan food. And Dan and I were like, vegan food, because me and Dan are vegan.
Right.
So we were sold by the fact that he was vegan. That's the only reason.
And I was like, vegan food.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
I'm kidding. No,
actually, that first time we met him, we went and got vegan food, and then I literally threw it up in the bathroom. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah, I think you were just so nervous with meeting with a label executive for the first time, Brandon.
Yeah, I was shaking.
You threw up a salad. Didn't you throw up a salad?
It was like a chicken Caesar salad, but like a vegan chicken Caesar. So it was like, like
meatless
bark.
chicken. Yeah, meatless chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaking.
So,
but besides that experience, we met up with Rob in person, and we all connected. And we really he has such a similar mindset to like kind of how our manager has. And he really understands like where we want to go as a band, and he actually he truly believes in the band, and which is really wild. Like he always was very vocal about like where he thinks the band can go and everything like that. And he obviously the relationship instantly started out being super transparent, and it just kind of like we knew that was like the perfect decision for us, like the right fit and like the right person, with just the way that the conversations that we had and everything like that, so it was a very natural way of like, yeah, this is what we both want,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Sounds like we're starting it sounds like I'm talking about a relationship starting. Like a romantic relationship.
So what have you guys learned being on a record label now and touring? What was what you thought it would be versus what it actually is? Without giving any details. I'm not looking for any details or anything. Like don't break any NDAs or anything, but because when you start a band, you think it's going to be this one way, and then the industry has a way of changing that perception very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think when it comes to touring, we've always had a very straightforward mindset with it, and like nothing's really changed there. Like we knew what we were getting into. This is what we want to do. and we want to do it as often as possible. So that's pretty much there. But with I guess the label and the business aspect, I mean, all I can really comment about it is in the last 2-3 years since we started demoing the record together as a band to shopping for these labels, ultimately meeting up with and forming a connection with I Surrender. It's just, there has been astronomical growth, and like we've just learned so much about how the game works, how to play the game, what we can do to get our music onto your page, that type of stuff, and just kind of grinding as much as possible while also simultaneously dealing with our own personal lives, living, making fair wages and stuff. So it's definitely a grind is what I could say about it, but something that I think we all are committed and sacrificed to.
Now, when you guys go out on tour and you're going to be doing the brick and mortar tour, dollar signs, my apologies to them.
Yes.
How is the crowd receptive to you guys? If it's their first time hearing you, are you guys having a lot of people show up at the shows who already know who you are?
This past run, like for the first time, it was really, really cool for all of us to experience, because we went back to a lot of cities that we used to go to a lot. We used to play a lot, and even the cities that we played in, like the last time we had our full US, which was last September, so it wasn't even that long ago, but we've seen growth with more people knowing about like us and actually coming out to see us, and each time we play in these cities that we haven't played in, like there's a little, it's not insane, but there's more people there that are singing our words, which is really cool. So there's that, and then I think it depends on the type of show, definitely, like how well things can be received, you know what I mean?
We've played shows recently where it's like the crowd really loves us, and then we've also played shows where I'm staring at a lady who's just staring back at me. And that's a lot to do when you're doing it for 30 minutes, just looking at people with their arms crossed, not shaking their heads or anything. But I think it's our live show is very I guess energetic. We're all jumping around and acting like fools, so it's a fun performance, in my opinion.
When you start a band, because I've been in the industry for over 20 years, and the one thing I always tell these, you get these guys who just want to start a band, you tell them, you're going to have to play so many shows to nobody. Like your friends and family show up, or you're going to play and nobody cares, and you have to persevere through that. And if you can get through that, stare the old lady down in the face and just keep going. That's the sweet spot happens on the other side. You talked about how the crowd was singing back to you, basically. What is the crowd favorite song? For those who don't know who Pollyanna is, maybe this is the song that they're going to mention that you can listen to. Maybe it's not Judas. Maybe I'm wrong. What is the song?
It is not Judas. I'll tell you that right now.
They're probably like, what? What is the song that the Pollyanna stands sing back to you guys at the shows? What is that song?
I'm gonna have to say it. It's Slut for sure.
Is it?
Yeah, because Slut is such a it just comes in, and it's so catchy, and it's just vocals for a second, so you could really hear the lyrics.
I also think relationship anxiety is a big one on live. People always sing the beginning and always sing the chorus. That one definitely goes really hard live. But I also think that Mars is not even as much singing the lyrics, because it's so wordy of a song, but
it's very wordy.
People fight each other in the best way.
That's when really people loosen up.
All right.
So
Mars is a great song. That's one of my top 4 all time Pollyanna songs right there. So, just got to keep growing from there. A few more questions for you guys, and then I'll let you go to enjoy your night. How do you guys balance, personal lives, touring, the business of this? You guys just got home last night. You got a little bit of a break right now, and then you guys are back out on the road. So is it hard for you guys to adjust road life versus home life, going to the, one night you're on stage, the next minute you're at the doctor's appointment, or you got to go to the grocery store? How is that adjustment for you guys?
Hard.
Yeah.
Not
it's
fun.
a lot.
Yeah.
Because one night
like you're on the road. Sorry, you can go ahead.
I was gonna say well, you're the one I wanted to talk to. One night you're on stage and the next night you're at your job.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
We all collectively just want to be doing that, being on stage, interacting with these people who love our music, being there, putting on a show, that's what we want to do as full time. So coming back and adjusting to, I wait tables in a restaurant and will bartend. So like having that, it does suck. It's not fun, but it just makes you hungrier to get back out there. You know what I mean? And really, really get to the point where you no longer have to, bartender or when you're that passionate about an art,
Now, you guys who are vegans in the band, how is that touring?
Rough.
For those bands who are starting off and you're vegans, listen to what they have to tell you. How is it being an up and coming band touring as a vegan?
I was going to say that is one of the number one struggles I deal with on tour.
So it's one of the number one struggles that I deal with on tour. Vegan food is very delicious. It's very good for you, but it's very expensive. And all of the vegan spots are not near anything else where you want to be by. So you got to travel 20 minutes out of the way to go to, East Cleveland when we have to be going west so we could get, a $22 chicken sandwich. That is amazing. And you feel great after eating it. But, it's a lot.
That's not always the
Sheets
case.
has rice and beans that are vegan.
Yeah, Sheets, rice and beans. You gotta be hitting supermarkets, all right? You want to get them fresh greens, that fresh produce, hummus and chips. If you don't like hummus and chips, not vegan. Like, you gotta get the hummus and chips, all right?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. Taco Bell's huge, okay? They will fuck up order the first time. You will tell them to do it right. They will fuck it up the first time. You gotta
need to check before you eat it.
A lot of them don't want to be there. So you just got to go back and be like, hey, I want to write this time. And they'll give it to you, the way you asked for the second time. Okay. Geez, peanut butter. Have peanut butter. Also, make friends in cities, because when you have friends and friends see you, on the road, sometimes they'll want to cook for you. And that's always a really cool thing, I think. So make friends, find people, steal their food. Actually, don't steal. That's wrong. But you know what I'm saying.
Just impose. Just impose.
Perhaps a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard. But honestly, the best thing is having my buddy Dan, my vegan buddy, because I don't know how I would honestly survive without Dan. Like I mean, for multiple other reasons, but like the fact that we're both vegan, like we can both look out for each other in that like way of like, yo, like let's share this or whatever. Like it's that is the number one thing that is the most helpful on tour, being vegan, having another vegan bandmate.
Because honestly,
it's helpful because on tour, like when you are done at a show, the only things open are, like they said, Taco Bell, McDonald's, all the crappy fast food. So it's good to be with people who are like not going to go to the worst spot, because if it was up to me and Jack, we would have McDonald's probably every night. But like, we're forced to go to the vegan places and get some greens in us. So I appreciate that.
That's right. Eat your greens, drink your juice. Biggest thing to take away, drink your juice.
Are we talking green juice?
All kinds. Any kind of juice you could get your hands on, cold pressed, organic. That's the real stuff.
I mean, this interview has now turned into like how to be fit on the road, and I love it. All right, this is what I don't
know if we're fit though. We're all kind of
we're pretty out of shape, but hey, we do give our body some good nutrients. All right.
Yeah, we eat the vegan food and then smoke weed and watch SpongeBob. That's pretty much how it goes.
Well, because like a lot of the clubs that you play at, they're not going to have vegan options. They'll give you bar food, pizzas, if they give you anything.
Yeah, most times, there are some real ones out there. There are some real spots that accommodate.
That place in Salt Lake City, there's this venue called the Beehive in Salt Lake City, and it's like half venue, half vegan restaurant, and it's
like a
actually
vegan
pretty
diner,
good. Yeah.
I've never heard of a half venue, half vegan restaurant.
It was pretty
But
cool.
It's honestly pretty cool.
Leave it to Salt Lake City for breaking
Right?
the mold of all places.
Right.
Yeah.
That a lot.
So if you guys had to pick, each of you had to pick a song, because this is really about my audience hearing you guys for the first time. And you know, if you're listening to this, we got cool green hair, we got a cool background. What would be the song that each one of you guys would recommend a newcomer listening to from Pollyanna?
That's a good question.
So I do this
I
for.
would say Mars.
Mars.
Yeah.
I would say relationship anxiety, because it's very poppy and very catchy, but like the instrumental is pretty kind of punky, a little, you know, power pop.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good combination of both pop and what we call punk.
If I were to come up to somebody and tell them to listen to the band, the first song I would say, I don't know, it would probably be one of the two that they just mentioned, or Slut even. Like, that's a good one. Or Pixie, you know. It depends on the person. I'd read the person and be like, you like this. And then
yeah, like there's a lot of people that I will actually recommend Acid Song to.
Yeah.
And that's because it's my personal favorite. And like if I were to be recommended my own band, if I didn't know my band, I would want that person to recommend me Acid Song, because I think that's the best song as a listener. So but that's not a lot of everybody's taste, you know. So I think it depends on that person's taste.
Who got you guys into music? What artist for each of you was this is like, okay, this is the cheesy generic interview question that you always get asked. What got you into music? I'm sorry, but I have to know.
No, it's okay.
What artist do you guys like look up to? Who got it going for you and that you still might love today? Like, I think I have a clue for you, Jill, but maybe
I was about to answer your questions. Paramore, for sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
We talked about it beforehand.
Well, I saw them when I was 12. I've seen a few other concerts, but I saw them when I was like 12, 13, at Madison Square Garden. And I was literally like, Dad, I want to do that. Like, I want to do that so bad. And then like there is a band, they're actually still a band. Wow. But they're very different now. But the band Paris, was a huge inspiration to me, like during my early teens. Yeah.
What about you guys?
The first band that I listened to that I was like, oh, I want to learn how to play these songs was Green Day. Because like I liked them from when I was like pretty young, and the bassist in Green Day is incredible. And then I found Nirvana and like System of a Down. So that became my personality after that.
Yeah. I think for me, like what got me into music, and like I guess it would be like I have family members that, you know, gig is a hobby, but specifically my older sibling Buddy was in a band and they were doing really well. And just seeing them do all this cool music shit, like the whole thing, like at a very young age, I was like, damn, that's something I want to do. Like, of course I want to do that. That's kick ass. So, and I guess like the first like bands that I like started listening to that made me realize like, oh, okay, like I want to do stuff more like this. Like I remember getting an iPod with a bunch of music from my older sibling, Buddy, and some of the bands on it that I really like was like, oh shit, was Transit and Enter Shikari as well.
Okay.
Like, yeah, those two, I was like, this is both bands completely different, but super wild and unique in their own ways. And I really just fell in love with that style of music and wanted to start doing it myself. You know, like I my older sibling played the bass guitar in this band, but I had an uncle that played drums, and I kind of thought drums were cooler, so I picked that up instead.
Now, what was Buddy's band's? What was the name of Buddy's band? I mean, we talked about Buddy. We got to find out the name of the band.
So the bands unfortunately had a abrupt ending. They broke up right at the cusp, but they were called Sincera, and they were a metalcore band. and they were killing the game.
Really good.
Yeah.
So last question I have for you, and then we're going to get to the shameless plugs for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you listening to these days? Like when you guys are driving back from tour the other day, who's your personal choice of what you're listening to right now?
I gotta say, Paramore.
Well, because they just put out an album.
Yeah.
She gets her Jill gets her Spotify wrapped at the end of every year, and it's just like you played one artist, Paramore.
No, Jill's got a pretty wide palette there. Actually, like you've been jamming a lot of like a Doobie Biba and
Biba Doobie.
Yeah, I'm just fucking around. Biba Doobie.
I've been jamming like
Beach Bunny.
I've been jamming a lot of like weird pop music. Like I've been really into Remy Wolf. I've been really into Beach Bunny. I'm also really into Spirit Box right now. So is Jack. Spirit Box is amazing. I will admit this here and only here. I teach at School of Rock, and that has forced me to get into a lot of music that I used to kind of not like, or a lot of bands that I still don't like, but Led Zeppelin I have been listening to Led Zeppelin. We listened to Amy Winehouse on the road. I remember I played some of those.
Are you just looking at your Spotify right now?
Yeah.
When I was behind the
we
wheel,
played the Shags.
I like this band called Seatbelts. They're really cool. Royal Coda is one of my favorites right now. Spinning a lot of them on the road. Home Safe, of course. I don't know, a bunch of other stuff. Peter Cat Recording Company. You know, they got a little Dope Lemon in there.
Nice.
What about you, Bobo?
I'm trying to think. Like this past weekend, I had System of a Down on a lot. So I listen to music in like phases. Like I'll listen to one artist for like 2 weeks and then not again for like 4 months. Yeah. So I'm in my System of a Down bag right now.
How can people, the brick and mortar tour, you guys are pretty much going all across the country, except for you're not coming to Nashville. So hopefully we'll get you guys in Nashville, because I do know where the vegan restaurants are in Nashville. So just throwing that out there. There's a Nashville hot chicken vegan restaurant.
Oh shit.
I've been wanting to go there. The Soul place, and it was always closed when we went there.
Yep.
Oh my God. I've heard amazing things about that place, and I've been trying to go there for forever. It's called like Soul V or
yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And then for you non-vegans, the regular buck chicken hot is awesome, but that's neither here nor there. So you guys are going to be going pretty much all across the country. And how can they find your tour dates? You guys, monthly listens on Spotify are amazing. You guys are pulling great numbers on YouTube, Spotify, all of that. And I think that's a testament to not only the music, but there's a ton of people who have got great music, but they don't have any traction. And I think that it's because of the content that you guys are putting out. My Instagram is always, when I log on, you guys are like one of the first that I see, because you guys are always putting a ton of content out. So
that's cool.
How can they get in
contact? I hope our manager hears this.
I'll send him that part right there.
Yeah, please.
So how can they check you guys out, find the tour dates? What can they expect from a live show? All of that sales pitchy stuff that we should have started the interview off with.
For tour dates, any information, anything, like I would go on like our Instagram. Everything is pretty organized on there. Like if you need to find anything, tour dates, stuff like that, as well as in every single one of our bios of our social media, we have a link tree. I would say it's definitely more important of a link than our actual website, because our link tree, the first thing you're going to see is you can listen to our music, you can buy tickets to our tour, you can buy our merch, you can buy our vinyl. I mean, literally every single link to, in any way, shape, or form, to support us is on that link tree. And you can find it on the Instagram bio and on Facebook, on I think TikTok, on Twitter, whatever it is, if you, that link tree, you have all of our links to see any of our platforms or find out any information of where we're going to be and any music release, as well as joining our Discord. We have a Pollyanna Discord, and we also have an email list and a texting line that I'm not the best at, but just to keep that community going of people knowing, you know, what we're up to and stuff like that, and just making sure that, you know, everyone is up to date, because people forget about tour dates. They're like, wait, you're coming to this city? And like, we've been talking about it for forever, you know? So I think Discord and all that good stuff, it helps. So yeah, all those links are on our link tree.
What, give the Discord a little love for a second. If they go to Discord, what do they get differently than Instagram? Or not a lot of bands I interviewed to have a Discord. So this is like breaking news right here.
Discord is basically it's direct interaction with people who share the common interest that they like the band, and they have direct interaction with us. They can ask us questions, they can talk about shows, they can talk about literally anything. There's different channels. You can post your art, you could post your music, we could talk about anime or video games or sports if you like. There's pretty much, it's just a platform to be a big community on, you know what I mean? So come join it, come say what's up.
Yeah, we're all in there all the time.
Not only that, but not only that, we actually share exclusive news before we post it on social media. We share it to Discord first. So like the people that are in the Discord, like anybody in the Pollyanna Discord, like they get the news first before anybody else. They will also receive sometimes exclusive content, exclusive things like that, you know. So it's definitely a cool thing to be a part of, because you get everything directly through there, you know, sometimes before it hits social media.
Yeah, so. I was really curious if you guys active individually are active on Discord, because a lot of times people promote it and lights are on and nobody's home ever on their Discord page. And you guys are on TikTok, so I'm going to do a battle one day. We're going to battle on TikTok for the gifts or whatever. So get ready for that. I just want to thank you guys for your time. And when you guys have big news, new album or anything, I want to bring you back. And anything you guys want to leave with that we didn't cover that we need to mention, we can go around the horn if you want, or if you guys just, you know, we forgot something, if you want to give a shout out to your grandma, whatever you guys want, this is your moment right here. Open floor, open mic. Here we go.
I just real quick want to remind everybody to please drink your juice. Matt, thank you for having us. I'd definitely love to be back.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, hey, when you come to Nashville, we'll go to a juice bar together.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh.
Drink your juice, everyone.
Everyone drink your juice. Definitely check out all of our tour dates. We have a lot of them, and we recently posted about it. So we've had a lot going on, so we haven't really been able to fully promote that. So we have a lot of tour dates. We will be touring more in the year, but we will also be writing. So yeah.
Can't talk any more about it. Can't talk.
We're just writing.
Can't talk anymore.
We're in the writing process. I promise.
All right.
My last bit of knowledge is Pollyanna, 2 L's, 2 N's. People spell it wrong too frequently.
Do they really?
Yeah, sometimes it's like 1 L or 1 N. We've had to ask you know, tour flyers and promoters be like, hey, can you make sure our band name is spelled correctly, please?
Okay. All right. Well, guys, thank you for your time, and we will bring you back when we're done writing. When we're done writing, Joe.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good luck on the tour, and all the links and everything will be in the description of this episode, so they can check you guys out, and then go visit their Discord and tell them I sent you.